Oh yeah. Coffee? Stainless steel cup? Jimmy?
Yeah, that's us. That's us on November 16th, 2022. This was a morning just before we had to go through an impossible COVID checkpoint. I'll get to that later. But first, let's catch you up on our progress. In July 2022, we flew from Beijing to the western terminus of the Ming Dynasty Great Wall. And from there, we've completed over 3,000 kilometers back to Beijing and now into Hebei once more. But while we were passing through Beijing, the COVID situation got a lot worse. Our crew couldn't follow us out of Beijing, so we had to push a pram from Beijing into Hebei and continue our journey by ourselves with no support crew. And so we carried on since there were so many COVID cases south of the wall. And now we have arrived at a place called Xifengkou, right here. As we came up this road, the locals told us that it was impossible for us to enter the next county because of this checkpoint at the wall. But there were no other ways around, at least no roads we could push our pram on. But there were no COVID cases on either side of this checkpoint, so why was there a checkpoint or a lockdown here anyway? We knew that the central government of China was criticizing local governments for measures that were too extreme. So we walked up to the checkpoint and threatened to live stream our encounter with them. And so they gave in, checked our passports, took some COVID samples, and then let us through.
So there's some wall up there, and Tommy's gonna put the drone up in the air, get some good footage, and we'll see how strategic this pass where we just passed through that COVID checkpoint is. It's called Tianmenguan, Iron Gate Pass, yes. So it's very strategic for them to set up the COVID checkpoint there too. And I'm just gonna pour a cup of coffee.
Look at this path. Right?
Wow. Really dramatic.
See why this is heavily guarded. This valley is a super easy approach route to the Central Plains. So this Tianmenguan, the Metal Gate Pass, must have been a really, really important strategic location back in the day. Just look at the valley here and how the mountains on each side are quite formidable, but in the middle, where the road is, it's quite an easy approach route.
Indeed.
We were certainly happy with ourselves to have gotten through that COVID checkpoint. Now it's time to make some progress and get back on the road. There was no way for us to take our pram all the way up to the wall. We had to guard our possessions and make progress at the same time. So we stuck to the roads, but tried to stick as close to the wall as possible. This route took us through some very, very industrial areas. And when the sun was starting to set, we would look for accommodation. We were lucky to get this room, and it was very, very cheap, only about $11 US.
To have it on the windowsill.
So this is effectively a lockdown, but you can, go outside, but there's nowhere to go to. So, we've got some reserve noodles. It's gonna be good.
We're currently in a county town called Qinglong, and there are a few high-risk areas in this county town, so everything's closed. So now we're cooking up some noodles. Alright, it's day like 6 of pushing the pram. We didn't find any accommodation, so we're cooking by ourselves. If you'll see here, I've got a alcohol burner just heating up the wok, and then here is our faster stove that I'm boiling water with. And Jimmy is setting up the tent. We're trying to stay low profile, so I'm gonna switch the light off in a sec. Exciting.
We were camping in farmers' fields. There was no other way, so we had to sneak up this gully and find this campsite that was out of sight of the villagers.
So I'm just heating up this wok here while the water boils. Some seasoning. Doing a bit of barbecuing here. We got a little grill and a piece of pork. We didn't get a pot lid, so this will be very inefficient.
Looking back at this day, although I was uncertain whether we would get to our final goal, I was certain that these were good times spent with my brother.
Here we are, campsite. Almost done with the noodles. How's it looking, Jim?
Looks good.
It's a bit inefficient without a pot lid, but
It's not too bad.
yeah, we got this pot in a local store, so it's big enough to fit in all the noodles, all that soup, and all the veggies. Got 4 eggs in there and a whole pork steak.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty epic.
Nice.
Jimmy's eating it out of a big mug. I'm gonna do this Alex Honnold style. Straight out of the pan. I mean wok. And when we return to camp, we have salty food and big desserts. It's not a very good adjective. And when we get back to camp, we enjoy ourselves with massive meals and big desserts. That's okay?
Very good. Editing on the go.
Yeah. And when we get back to camp,
Luckily, it's very quiet here, huh, in this gully. Not many trucks going on that road.
beautiful misty morning in chestnut fields. Jimmy's in the tent doing his work, and I'm putting together a couple of cups of coffee. Currently in the pot is one mantou and one douba. So Tommy's steam pot, patent pending.
We got going early, gunning it for Shanghai Guan before we could take a rest day.
So just by a river here, and we're going to get some frozen dumplings, veggies and noodles in that pot. It's gonna taste quite nice because we're hungry. Starving. Yeah. There are no restaurants or any food stalls open around here. Total lockdown for the food and beverage industry, so we have to make our own.
Dumplings. I mean noodles. Kim, you ready?
Yeah.
Take it. On the road again. It's day 8, I think, with no rest days. Today we'll get about within 40k of Qinhuangdao. So tonight, possibly we'll be able to stay in some 农家院 near Banchangyu. But we're also prepared to camp one more night before Shanghai.
Not many breakfast stalls on this way, huh?
No.
Looks good. Maybe a bit sugary, but it's what we need.
Our fitness and speed was quite impressive. We got out of the lockdown county.
At a roadside restaurant, finally out of the lockdown zone. Bring a bit of coffee here in the AeroPress. Jimmy's doing his work. Nice haircut, Jim.
Is it?
I mean, no. Jimmy, cheers.
Cheers.
We were finally at a proper restaurant, so we really indulged. As we crept closer to the border with Shanghai, which is the next city, I made contact with some good friends who lived in Shanghai. And when they heard that we were only 30k away and we were planning to camp the night, they took pity on us and drove out to pick us up. So the plan was to finally stay in a hotel tonight, take a rest day, then take a car all the way back to where we left off and keep going.
Drone coming in for landing.
At this point, we were knackered. 8 days on the go, covering more than 340 Ks, with uncertainty every day whether or not we would get into the next county or the next city. But now that we had a hotel to stay in for the night, we were extremely happy.
Look at the wall up there, Jim.
Yeah, amazing. And on the left too.
Once we crossed the border into Shanghai, we were picked up by our friends. We looked forward to the sound sleep we would get in the hotel room.
Yes! After a few days of no showering, I'm going to get a shave. And I'm going to be 3 kilos lighter after the shave.
Yes.
Let's go! Let's go. Look, an actual toilet. Actual running water.
Yeah, it's a calligraphy themed hotel. See this. Ta-da! Calligraphy set to practice my ugly characters. We now have the mountains behind us and the coastal plain ahead of us. A day from Old Dragon's Head. That's where our father ended his journey, and it's generally agreed upon to be eastern end of the wall. At least that's what the tourist attraction claims it to be. But we know that there's more wall to the east, as far as to the border with North Korea, and that's where we're going, to Dandong. That's another 600, 700k for us. So looking forward to that. This Old Dragon's Head, this milestone, but also the finish line at Tiger Mountain.
Here at Jiaoshan, we witnessed the construction of a brand new Great Wall Museum. This is where the wall leaves the mountains and gets onto the coastal plains.
Now a few k's from Jiaoshan and we're here at the fortress.
Very high walls. What do you reckon, Tommy?
This is
15 meters?
Yeah, at least.
easily.
This is the counterpart to the fortress in Jiayuguan, right? It's the sister on the other side, on the other end of the wall. And in here there's an old city. It's now turned into sort of a touristy spot, and we're going to go to a coffee shop in the old city.
Get a coffee before we get to the official end of the Great Wall, but that's not the end of our journey. Our journey ends 600k from here at Dandong on the Yalu River.
Back in the Ming Dynasty, when this fortress and the wall was built, out of that door was out of China, essentially. And unfortunately we can't go there either. It's possibly COVID reasons.
That's the 天下第一关, the first pass under the heavens. And that is one of the ends of the main line of the Great Wall, where the wall meets the sea. And we're going to go to where the wall physically goes into the sea a bit later on. So we've seen one of these before, right, Tommy?
Mm-hmm.
And that's on the other end of the Great Wall at Jiayuguan. And back there, it also said 天下第一关, but actually 天下第一雄关. It means basically the same thing, the first pass under heaven. So both ends of the Great Wall have the claim to be the first pass under the heavens.
You want to get coffee first?
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
Once a touristy spot, here in the depths of winter and during COVID, there were no other tourists. But we did meet some Germans and Canadians in this coffee shop. They worked for a project, a massive suspension bridge in Canada. They were manufacturing it here and shipping the bits over to Canada to be assembled. Back then, in the depths of COVID, there were only 3 types of foreigners. Ones that live there, ones that have contracts, and ones who have been stranded. We make our way out of the old city towards Old Dragon's Head.
Yay!
All right.
Getting close.
Very close to the eastern end. Is it the eastern end though? Anyway, it's Old Dragon's Head. It's where the wall meets the Bohai Gulf. It dips its head into the sea. We still have 600k to go, but this is where many explorers, Great Wall explorers, have begun and ended their journey in the past. So we're going to pay tribute. So we're going to go to the very end and then have a bit of beer. That's right, a bit of beer
To celebrate.
to celebrate reaching this side of the wall.
As we draw closer to Old Dragon's Head, a thought pops into my mind. Why have we, and a handful of other explorers before us, chosen to walk from Jiayuguan to Shanhaiguan
Approaching
instead of taking a flight that would only take 4 hours?
Go to the end tower.
It's right down there. There's the beach. So many explorers have begun their journey here, and so many have ended it here as well. And just to think that in July we were starting our journey in Jiayuguan, and we've trekked all across northern China to get here. I mean, I'm feeling something, but knowing that we still have 600k to go, we need to put down that emotion and save it for the end of our journey. Wow, look at this.
Instead of that 4-hour flight, it took us 131 days to get here, covering 3,263 kilometers across 6 provinces. Along the way, we even lost 2 support crew to COVID policy. There was no finish line, no celebrations, no fireworks, no confetti. Just the Great Wall, the sea, my brother and I.
Hey Jim, what do you see?
I see the waves crashing onto the rocks here. It's amazing. Whoa. Awesome. Hug.
Still 600k to go.
Yeah.
Should we get the beer out?
Let's get the beer out. Sit in front of the camera.
This is only a little celebration, but the end of our journey is actually 600 kilometers that way, in Dandong, on the border with North Korea. We're going to celebrate with some, I don't even know what beer this is, but
Blue Ribbon.
here we go. Cheers. Ooh,
Not too bad.
not too shabby at all. Nice bit of bubbly.
Nice bit of bubbly.
Nice
You
bit-
make it sound like champagne, but it does taste like champagne.
Nice bit of bubbly beside the bubbly foamy ocean.
Yeah. And now we're going to the beach. Not for a beach holiday,
No.
but to do some rephotography. Because Dad took a photo, a very nice photo on the beach. So we're going to try and recreate that.
Beautiful. Good old.
Yeah. Wow.
Beautiful. You want to kiss it? The picture that our father took is on the other side of Old Dragon's Head, so we're going to walk around here. Look at this, is the very end here. Brilliant. Let's go find that spot. Right, so we've got the picture here. As you can see, there's the Old Dragon's Head and there's the old man. So we need to find those rocks that he's standing on.
Awesome.
This location for rephotography was very easy to find. It's a momentous occasion for the both of us,
Yeah.
and for our dad, which we'll be sending those pictures to in a minute.
I think you'll be happy with those pictures.
But now it's time for us to leave Old Dragon's Head behind, head north towards Dandong, and finish our journey in about 600k.
All right.
Let's get moving.
Along the beach then.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Little did we know, the COVID obstacles were about to become insurmountable. But that's for next time on Two Brothers Great Wall.